Can I tell you how much I absolutely love hosting this podcast, The Seed, Growing Your Business? Absolutely love it. What I love the most about it is the absolutely amazing people that I get to meet and learn from. Because in life, I'm a firm believer in constant growth. Truly am. There is no ceiling to the knowledge that we can all obtain, no ceiling to all the power and positivity people can bring to us that help us grow and connect and develop in our businesses. So this week's guest encompasses all of that. Lori Rogers is a multi-million dollar business owner. She is the president and co-founder of Rogers Marketing. With over 25 years experience, she and her team have cultivated client relations, driving franchise, leading sales, and recognized leadership in her industry. In 2011, Lori began implementing practices of positivity and witnessed like insane amount of growth in her business life and the lives of those all around her. And this is what she does, and this is what she's going to bring to us today. So please stay tuned and listen to Lori Rogers as she tells us how much a positive mindset and positive activities will drive us to our next level. Welcome to The Seed, cultivating growth and empowering women in business, brought to you by Dandelion-Inc. I'm your host, Lisa Resnick, and this podcast is all about connecting, developing, and supporting women in business. Join me as we explore tips and insights on leadership, business development, and social media strategies that can help you thrive. We'll also hear from amazing guests who share their stories and experiences, offering inspiration and practical advice for your entrepreneurial journey. So tune in, download, like, and subscribe. And remember, if you love what you hear, share it with others. Together, let's cultivate growth and empower women in business. Hey everyone, I am here with Lori Rogers. So Lori came to me, was it a few months ago?
Yes.
A few months
I
ago,
feel like
we
it,
got
yes.
connected, and I am so glad we did. So let me tell you a little bit about Lori before we deep dive into her story, her expertise, everything. I'm just going to give you the high level of what Lori is. This does not by any means encompass all of Lori, but this is our high level, which is pretty spectacular. So she is the president and co-founder of Rogers Marketing, a multi-million dollar woman-owned business for 25 years. She and her team have cultivated client relationships, driving franchise leading sales, and recognized leadership in her industry. In 2011, Lori began implementing the practices of positive activity, and we are going to deep dive into this portion soon and witness, because of this positive activity, exponential growth in business, life, and live the lives of those all around her. She helps audience do the same thing, and she's going to help us here today, implementing simply daily activities and mindset shifts that attract life-changing experiences. I mean, holy cow.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I need to meet this woman.
So let's first talk about a little bit about the marketing side. So what brought you into the marketing world 25 years ago, and how are you feeling about it today?
That's so funny. 25 years ago, when my husband Neil presented this business opportunity to me that we were going to work together, I was like, yeah, sure. You can go sell. You're the salesman in the family, and I'll just sit back here. I had 3 kids at the time. I still do. And I'll just sit back here and be the little admin in the office. Well, life just sort of worked out in a different way, and we both became salespeople in the business, and it just grew from there. We started it from nothing, And we are a corporate swag provider. I call it tangible media.
Ooh.
Anything you can think of to put your corporate logo on, from a pen to apparel to, balloons, trade show events. We
What
do
is the
corporate stores.
craziest thing any of your clients have asked you to put their logo on?
Well, that's funny because someone just asked me yesterday if they could logo game remotes. No, I'm not a gamer, so I don't know what it's called, but that little thing that you hold to do the gaming
It's the
things.
the remote controls.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
because the theme of their show is video games. So they wanted something to give away to, that resembled that. So we're investigating it. So I found that was kind of funky and that's kind of fun. Um, yes, but I work with major corporations that like to keep it, I would say, conservative-ish, like just appropriate.
Oh, nothing
So
crazy. Like
nothing, yes.
nothing like
No,
somebody. I do know of
no.
an agency, an insurance agency that actually put their logo on condoms.
Okay, no, no one's asked me that. But good idea. It can happen. Good idea. What?
I think that they had the slogan along with it, like protecting your future.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. So, yes, so that, how do I feel about that business now? I love it. I love my clients. I love inspiring them so that they can inspire their employees and their clients, right, with gifts and swag and things like that. I love the whole thing. I love that I could always do it from home and have balance between taking care of my children. I would stop at 3 o'clock and I had, my children were home from school and that was amazing. Now they're all grown and out of the house. Um, and I see that business is chugging along because we have this beautiful support staff that help us out. Carolee, CJ, Kathleen, of course, Neil and I work it together still. And it's sort of shifting into our positive activity genre, shall I say, because now
Yes.
our clients are like, oh, wait a minute. Can you come and talk to our sales meeting, our sales team during this sales meeting and talk about your positive activity program? So it's become an adjunct to our marketing and to the swag that we provide to people. Yeah.
So
By happenstance, I didn't even plan it that way.
now going back, now let's get back to figuring out because marketing, I don't think that everyone fully understands the extent of the umbrella of marketing. So what is it that drove you and your husband Neil to take on that niche and look at the products and the logos and helping people figure out for whatever event that they have going on where what matches them and their brand?
Right. Well, when we first started, we knew it was a great business. It was really, if you think about it, 25 years ago, you didn't really see a lot out there in the world. Um, but we knew it could grow and we knew it could get bigger and better because my husband Neil had always been in sales and been in sort of that sort of theme and that industry. So he knew it was up and coming. So when we bought this business, we knew it would grow and we knew we could do something with it.
Okay, wait a
And
second. You just made a really, so you said you bought the business.
yes, we're a
So,
franchise. Yes.
oh, okay. So you were like, this is a great base to start from. And let's
Mhm.
face it, even anybody who franchises, I think that they need to understand that you still need to create your
Well,
own business.
yes. So we are a
You don't
franchise
get
and
their
our
business with
yes,
the
no,
franchise
and
name.
our corporate headquarters is in Wisconsin, but literally we started with zero sales, literally, because here you go. Here's your business, go have at it, right? We did get training and all of that. Um, but as we started to work with our clients and see what the needs were, we were able to find the products they wanted. It's a lot of apparel and drinkware, and then brands started to get into it, right? Like we sell a ton of Yeti and Stanley and Hydro Flask and now North Face, like any brand that is now in the industry, that's what companies want. And the whole shift and change in it is amazing. It's wonderful. Yeah, it's a
How do
fun
you
business.
how do you get in touch with those big name brands like Yeti and North Face
Hmm.
for your
Yeah,
corporations?
sure. So we work with about 200 key suppliers. Those suppliers that we work with are our partners, and they're the ones that garner those top brands. So we go to that supplier who has the brand we want, and we say, okay, yeah, we need 100 Yetis. We need this logo engraved on it, and we need it in 2 weeks. This is where it's shipping. And we work between our client and the factory. We're the middle person.
Okay.
In this industry, our clients still want that hand holding. They still want to hand it off to you, to me, or to Neil to say, can you handle this for me? They don't have the time, quite
Well, so
frankly. Yeah,
I was just about to say
they
that.
just
So
don't. So,
that's such a big deal. I don't think that people fully grasp how much time and saving the time by
yeah,
using companies such as yourself provides them to still scale and grow their business,
yes.
and removing themselves as the middleman, or as they say, they stop working in their business and start working on their business.
Oh,
And that's why marketing agencies such as yourself are so essential.
right. And we follow that same belief. So we send out thank you notes after each order. We send out gifts to our clients every quarter, especially at the holiday season. If you send a handwritten thank you note to one of your clients, you're probably going to be the only one. And
Agreed.
you're probably going to be standing out to them. So yes, I have a team that does my social media. I have a team that does our mailings. I have a team that follows up and makes sure my clients get all of their tracking. And then we tell them when it lands in their office and we tell them when it gets to the trade show. I have a team. So we delegate so that I can make phone calls. Or now everybody wants to email or text me. I'm like, I still like to call and talk to you on the phone. So I can work on the business and garner and just touch base with my clients and just call them and say, hey, not even to sell them anything, but they're my friends. And I want to say, hey,
Yes,
so
you
it's
care about
true.
them.
I do care about them. So we do delegate. And I think as it grew, that didn't happen right away. That took some years, to build up the business. But I always thought of it as that person that I am paying to go do that for me is helping me make more money because I'm out here, garnering more clients and I'm over here making phone calls and I'm over here sending them samples and ideas, right? So sometimes you say, "Oh, I can't afford to pay a social media person." And or, to mail things and I had to get over that too. And
Yeah.
once I did get over that, things are amazing and great. Our social media for us isn't the biggest game changer. It's more about the personal mailings we do, the connections we make, the phone calls I make, and opening lumpy mail. That for us, that's the game changer, not so much social. So we don't spend a lot of time on it. Um, we send out an email once a week to all of our clients. They can unsubscribe; they don't have to get it, but it's really about the connections we make through mail, lumpy
Yes.
mail, and phone calls more than the social. So I don't get bogged down in it.
I think honestly, that is the running theme of
Mm-hmm.
2024 regarding social media, and
Mm-hmm.
and releasing, if you will, the stress of feeling like you constantly have to be on
Yes.
it when it comes to social media posting. And that's really, it's it's not ours. We don't own it. But you're talking about mailing, and you're talking about, well, what do they call it? Snail mail, and you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about email.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that we own. Those relationships are what we own, and they're so
Mm-hmm.
imperative to really hone in and spend the time at that level with the people we want to reach than the other.
Right.
Because I mean, everything is so bogged down from 2023 to 2024. The amount of noise on social media makes it so much more difficult for any
Hmm.
of us to truly be seen.
Yes.
So I love the fact. So the other thing I want to touch on that you mentioned was the hubby was the salesperson
Hmm.
and you were not. So to
Mm-mm.
all those out there that hate sales,
Yes.
feel icky when they do it, all those things,
Yes.
talk about how you transitioned over into that world and how you finally have settled in and have like the confidence and getting over the imposter syndrome with it.
Yes. It started out by, I remember the first client I went to, and I went to their office. They were here in Nashua. It was a company called Teradyne, and they're not there any longer. And the team there, it's it was it's interesting because I would go to the sales and the marketing departments usually, and it was usually women. So cool, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden you've got this, jive going, and they needed jackets for their sales meeting. So I looked at it as, okay, I'm going to go find you the best thing, what you want in your budget. And here we go. I garnered samples, I brought them back. So I never was like carrying a suitcase of here's my goods. I went in as a consultant. I went in as how can I help you, not buy this from me, right?
Oh, I
It
love that.
Yeah, it always came in as what can I do for you? How can I help you?
I,
And
that's
yeah,
perfect.
that's the way the relationships always started. Now, remember, 25 years ago, we were able to go into offices, drop little gifts off at the front desk. So, what I would do is have a little gift bag, and I'd walk into the company, and there's the receptionist. I had a gift for her, and I had a gift for the person who I would like. I don't even know how I found out who the marketing person was. Maybe I asked her, and the what was usually a female receptionist. That's why I say her. And I would say, do you mind giving this to the person in charge of marketing? Da da da. And this is for you. And thank you for doing that. That was back in the day. And I garnered much business doing that. But now that you can't, they're not going to let you walk in and drop a bag, right?
This is
But you
true.
can do it through mail. You can do it through something fun and interesting. So once it stopped where you couldn't walk in, say, okay, I want to work with this company. They do this, this, and this. You can Google them now or go to LinkedIn, find out who the marketing manager is, and send them something fun and neat. Um, or if you see that they like to play tennis, send them a chocolate tennis racket. I don't know, just like you can think of some fun things to connect with people now that you can't do it by just walking in. So I always went into it as, how can I help you? Let's work together on this project. And I want to make you look really good to your boss and to your employees. Yeah.
So did you find with the shift from the door knocking, walking into the office to being able to send people these fun little surprises that they get in the mail, which I don't care how old you are, you will love getting mail.
Hmm.
That's a fun little surprise. Everybody loves those little packages that we receive at our doorsteps or in our mailbox. So that will never go away. That was
Right.
something that is evergreen and everlasting. So with that being said, did that open up your window of opportunity in your reach? Because I'm sure like driving to a
Hmm.
place.
Right. Yes, it did. And we work with clients all over the country now. Yes. California, Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, New Jersey. Yeah. And we're in New Hampshire and Massachusetts. So now we can work with anyone. And well, we always could, but it was harder to drive to
Yeah, it's a
Arizona.
lot harder to
So,
drive to California from New Hampshire to knock on the door
yeah,
and drop off a care package.
exactly. So yes, our reach is far greater. Yeah.
So now let's talk about really what I wanted you to hone in on. And we brushed on this a little bit
Hmm.
earlier this year. I want to dive in to positive activity. and where that came from in your story of why you found it so essential to actually incorporate into business.
Sure. Well, my story, if I go back a little bit, is I grew up and I always had this underlying current of being a worrywart, being a tad anxious, being fearful. And can you believe we started a new business and I was feeling this way? Oh my gosh, I can't even believe I did it, but we did. And so I always had that underlying tone. And then in 2011, there was a series of events between the recession, as you might recall. Our clients were losing business or stopped doing business, or our clients lost their jobs. I have a son diagnosed with autism that was transitioning out of high school at that time. And my daughter, who was a senior in college, was home recovering from a head injury. So there were like all of these things mounted up, and I was literally living in this cage of fear and worry and doubt. So back then in 2011, my daughter asked me to take her to a wellness fair because she couldn't drive. I did. We walked around. I looked at the tables and the books and the presentations, and I said, "Wait, time out." I remember saying this to Erica, this woman, Erica. I said, "Are you saying that I can change my experience by what I think and by what I say and what I believe?" Like, no, I'm a math major. I'm very black and white, very logical thinking, right? So I'm like, what are you talking about? And how come I don't know this
That
already?
totally makes sense. The fear and everything that you're talking about, you're like, if
Oh,
it doesn't add up, A plus B does not equal C, then there's something amiss.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
that makes sense.
So I grabbed some books. I went to a couple presentations, and over that summer, I remember just sitting there on the beach and looking at the abundance of this ocean, the sand, the little sand pebbles, the skies. Like, okay, I'm done. I'm done feeling this way. So yeah, I'm gonna try this. I am gonna try. So anytime, and it started simple, just changing my thoughts. Like anytime a negative thought would come into my brain, oh, we're never going to have any sales this month. Oh, my clients, don't even care about me anymore. Oh, our suppliers are never going to ship this on time. I would switch it and I would put that on a post-it note and stick it on my wall in my office. There's plenty for everyone, including me. My clients love me and order from me. My clients pay me on time. I am a magnet for business. Like I would just switch it and stick those up there and try to focus on those. So what we say and what we think with deep, deep emotion goes into our subconscious brain, or I like to call it my unconscious brain. And your subconscious brain wants to make you really happy and wants to match your outside world to your inside world. So, and that's what I learned. So you're literally rewiring your brain to say, no, 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 nope, I'm good. So when a negative thought would come in, I'd say, okay, thanks, ego, for reminding me that our sales are down this month. Okay, thank
Yes.
you. But I don't need you to warn me anymore. I don't need you to tell me that anymore because we're good and I got this. And there's plenty out there for everyone, including me. So I would flip it on its head.
I don't think that people realize how much time that they spend emotionally. And then because they're emotionally processing and going through these negative thoughts, how it's actually preventing them from taking actionable steps towards positivity. And you just laid out something that is so simple to
Mhm.
do. Have that negative thought in your mind. Sit there and say, the supplier is not going to be to provide the jackets that we have for the company. And then you shift it and say, the supplier will. There's ample suppliers out there that if anything happens, we're covered. And you post that up on your wall. And all those negative thoughts that we use to stop us from achieving,
Mhm.
it's so simple, but yet people don't do it, which is just killer to me. Like, how do you
Mhm.
not just change your mind shift? Because it's like you're manifesting your own destiny
Hmm.
which is not good. Like what you're thinking in your
Right.
mind is not good. It's great to be risk aware.
Hmm.
Like, but we're at risk awareness versus negative mindset are two completely different things.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Lisa, many people don't do it because they don't know they have control over their destiny. They have control over their thoughts. They have their mind doesn't control them. They're the boss of their mind. So most people don't know that, and that's why they don't do it, right? So you said something interesting too, is once you know, you're like, oh, wow. And then you think about all the things that maybe said or done or whatever. And then you look at the way your life is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did I manifest this? Did I
Mm-hmm.
create
Yes.
this? Did I?
Yes.
And it's yes, you did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
So,
we do. We
right.
literally manifest our lives on a day-to-day basis, and
Yes.
we are the ones that set our ceilings at what they are. It's like all of us should be like Willy Wonka, bulldoze through that ceiling, and if you don't shift your mind to do it, it's not going to happen.
Yes. Right.
So I love it.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Um, you mentioned something else about letting in the good ideas and letting in the inspiration. I'm not sure if that was exactly your word, but letting it
It
in.
sounds beautiful how you said it, so we'll go with that.
Okay. So what I wanted to say to that is it has been scientifically researched that when you live in a more optimistic, joyful way and your happiness level is higher, you are more open to those creative ideas flowing to you, right?
Yes.
So when you live in that high, I call it the higher vibration, or your happiness level is higher, those things are not only do you sell on average 37% more, you're 31% more productive, you're more resilient to illness, and you're open to, there's many other things, but those businessy things is what I like to tell people about. And you're more open to those creative ideas to come into you. So you're right. You're right about that you are open. So I say to people, what shield, what's your shield like? What does it look like? Because you're not letting those things flow in. So let's get rid of the block. So I used to, in my presentations, I have like an umbrella kind of like a shield thing. They'll be like, oh, business stinks. The recession's so hard. Everything's so expensive. And they'll put those notes up there. Okay, that's what's shielding you. So
Yes.
let's flip those and get rid of those. So it's really a good practice to go through physically to see, oh, what's blocking me? What's blocking me from what the bigger business, the increased sales, from, garnering that client to, whatever it is. Yeah.
Now, how have you been able to incorporate this mindset with the team that you have built?
Yeah. They're uh, very open to it as well. But honestly, it doesn't matter so much what your team is doing. You be, you can manifest only for yourself, right?
That's true.
So even though Neil's on board, my staff is on board, they're all very positive, amazing people. They're manifesting for themselves, not for me, right? Or for my business. But as the leader and as I guess, the symbol of the company, they see me in my joy as much as possible, in my positivity. We send them gifts all the time. We, bonus them. We give, and very generous with our team. And they feel that. So they want to do more for us. And they care about us in that way because they know we care about them.
Now
Yeah.
you go in and you speak to
Hmm.
people
Hmm.
about this positive action lifestyle that they can start incorporating
Yes.
really today. Anybody who's
Yes.
listening at this moment, at press pause if you need, and start manifesting and start with these positive actions.
Yes.
So when you speak to crowds, genders, do you find any apprehension from people, and characteristically how would you define those people?
Well, they don't normally tell me if they're resistant, right?
Can you
So
see it though? I feel
I,
like you can see it. Like there are plenty of times that I've talked to groups of people and I can see it on their face, the ones that I've reached and the ones that are like, I'm here because I was told to be here.
right,
So
right.
there you can tell.
So what I do is just send everyone grace because everyone is where they are in their journey. And I'm just there to give a message and hopefully they'll hear it again. And then
Yeah.
the next time they'll hear it, they'll be like, oh, wait, I heard this before. Maybe I better pay attention to this. So I'll give you an example. We have a son. He's a non-speaking 33-year-old diagnosed with autism. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were introduced to a communication program. This book landed on my desk. I open up the Amazon box. It says, Underestimated, an Autism Miracle. And a friend of ours had suggested we read this book, do this program, da da da. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, another miracle, another journey, another $10,000, another travel, another thing. I was fearful of it not working out. So I put the book aside. I said, oh, we'll let Neil read it. He can handle this project. So 9 months later, we met with a new functional medicine doctor right here in New Hampshire. She goes, we sat down. She looked at me. She goes, well, Laura, you've read Underestimated, right? I went, well, I will go home and read it tonight. So in this instance, even though I was open to new ideas and even though I'm living this, life experience and I was resistant to that and I had to hear it another time before we did it. So then I read the book. We start Craig on this program, and he is now spelling to communicate. So if you know any non-speaking autistic individuals, check it out. Spelling to communicate. The book is Underestimated. And now he communicates with us by pointing to letters on a letterboard, and it's turned our lives upside down. His life is going in a totally different direction now. He's brilliant and smart and and aware of everything going on, even though he's never been able to express it.
I
So
think I
it's
think
amazing.
any human being when when you're strapped when it comes to your communications, it could create chaos, it can create angst, all the things when
Mhm.
you're trying to reach someone and tell them what's in your mind and it's not happening.
Yeah.
So finding the outlets and finding that outlet that you did is I can't even imagine how everyone was able to breathe and say
Yeah.
that's what the issue is through the communication. That's what he's been trying to say to us.
Yes.
And that is just it's a beautiful thing. And I'm very glad that you had
Thank
somebody
you. I know.
say the name of the book again to you.
I know. It's so true. So, and the way I found the doctor was a friend of mine mentioned her to me, and I could have just blown that off and not gone to see her. But I did go. I said, oh, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. I'll do that. But so the messages were coming and I was getting them and I was open and receiving them. It's not, I just at that time didn't do what I should have. Well, I didn't choose to follow it at that
Yes.
time, right? I didn't choose to follow it. And so I remember that and I think about that and I say, it's just not their time yet. This isn't their time to do this yet, right? So if I'm in a class and that's happening, like, well, I'm here. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to give them the information and maybe they'll hear it again. And I can't say there's a demographic so much. I wouldn't say there's a demographic I can pinpoint that would be like, yeah, no. Um, yeah, I don't think so. I
No
can't.
Enneagram
Yeah.
number out there that you can be like, yeah, that Enneagram one is just not going to be into this idea.
I know. And I tell them up front, like, all right, this is the woo woo part. So hang in with me, please. And, it's some people like me. How old was I? I don't know, in my 50s. And I'm like, wait, how come I've never heard of this? No one ever talked to me about this. So many people haven't heard it yet, so they probably have to hear it a couple of times.
I
So,
think that incorporating positive actions into our daily lives is so essential for us, especially as chaotic and stressful and honestly fearful that it can be
mhm,
with incorporating our passions and dreams and trying to put ourselves out there, especially as entrepreneurs, right? As
yeah,
business owners. I mean, we are really putting ourselves out there. We're
mhm,
not hiding underneath the corporate umbrella, which is totally fine for people. But if we are really throwing ourselves out there, there is such a risk, and you can't separate business from personal because it is all of you. It
it
really
is.
is.
Right. I would say the first thing I would write if I was a new business owner, any current business owner and not doing this lifestyle right now, I would say the first thing I would write down is I am a magnet for business. I am a magnet for new clients. And there's plenty for everyone, including me. And just
Mhm.
put that up on your vision board, put that up on your bulletin board. And yeah, and I do use a vision board. I do visualize. I there's many different things I do to keep myself in that happy space, in that happiness
Lori,
level. There's so many things.
Lori, I honestly probably about maybe a year and a half ago, wrote my newsletter to my community, and
Mm.
I kind of dissed vision boards.
Mm.
If you came to my
Oh,
home today, you would see probably in every room of the house, tucked away somewhere, a vision board. I'm obsessed. I love it. I love them.
yeah, they're great. They're awesome. There's a little book I've been reading. It's called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. And there's a whole chapter on visualization and how it works and why it works and the science behind it. It's very good. So there's science behind everything that I'm teaching. And that's why we started teaching it, or I started teaching. I'm like, wait a minute, time out. All of these things I started doing in 2011, 2012 grew my business, increased sales by over 200%, talking over a few years. Didn't happen automatically. You know, melted that cage of fear and worry. And then I was reading and met Sean Acor, watched his TED Talk, read his, wait a minute. He's actually scientifically studying the law of attraction and changing your mindset and your unconscious mind. He's proving it. Like, how can I not teach this? It's free. It's your time. Yes, your time is quite valuable, but the time that you put into this can change everything. And think of it as your own little marketing program for yourself, for your
Oh,
brain,
I
right?
agree. I agree. And really, at the end of the day, positive actions creates actions forward.
Hmm.
By you having and shifting your mindset of you can generate business, you can be a sales magnet, you can be the superstar, like all the things that you want to sit there and state for yourself, you find yourself working towards those things. Now, if you have the mindset of, I can't do sales, I cannot get up in front of these people and speak, I do
Hmm.
not want to reach out and ask people if they need my service, then guess what? You're not going to do any of those things. It's just not going to
Right,
happen.
right. And one little tip when you're writing your positive statements, use the words I am. I am garnering new clients. I am a magnet for new customers. I am abundant. I am organized because the words I am make it happening right now, right now. And let's face facts. All of it, everything is now, like
Yes.
right in this moment. Okay. So make sure you use the words I am because that's telling the universe and telling your brain, this is what I believe. This is where I am right now. And you don't want to use the words, and I tell people this People get mad at me, but I say this, you're never going to get what you want. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I'm not going to get what I want. Because when you're in the wanting stage, oh, I really want to sell $10,000 this month. Oh, I really want a new home. I really want a relationship. Oh, please, dear universe, I want. So when you stay in the wanting, guess what you're going to keep getting? The
Nothing.
wanting of it. So I tell people, no, you're never going to get what you want. You're going to get what you believe you already have. And you have to just go to the feeling of it. It's interesting. With someone that wanted a new, this just happened a couple of weeks ago. Someone wants a new job. They're feeling disrespected. They're not making enough money. Da 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 da. No, I'm never going to get this new job. I really want a raise. I really want to, whatever they were saying. I said, okay, well, let's try this. Can you feel you're not going to get the new job tomorrow? Probably not. But by tomorrow, can you get to the feeling of it? Can you feel what it's going to feel like to be respected, to be earning more money, to walk into an office that you just like every day and your boss respects you and you respect them? You can go to that emotion of it, right? Yeah, yeah. So go to the emotion of it. Go to the feeling of it. And that's what you think about every day. So it's that those emotions and the deep beliefs that are going to attract those things to you. So, yeah.
Lori, your message is so true and so real that I hope all the listeners out there really, really take it deeply and they hold on to it. So I really appreciate you for being on today. And for everyone out there, how can they reach out to you? How can they find you?
Sure. Yes. So our website is positiveactivity.net. That's the positive activity side. And you can contact us there. And there's links on there to our Instagram and TikTok. And like I said, I don't do it. I have people that do it. That's not true. Sometimes I go on and I mean, I do the videos and all of that, but I have people that
Oh,
manage
yes,
because it's
because any marketing
overwhelming.
agency is going to make you still do the
Ugh,
predominant amount.
right.
There's only so many blanketed like graphics that they can put out there.
I
So
know.
yes, your
know.
personality and your brand needs to be incorporated in with those
Right.
graphics. So
Right. And I will tell your tribe, well, what do you call your group? Like your followers, really, like your
yes,
the people that respect and listen to you. They want your followers or
I want
your
you.
clients, they want you. They want to hear from
Yes.
you. They don't want to see a graphic.
No.
It's interesting. I watch the analytics on that. I'm like, yeah, every time Neil and I do a video about a promotional product or what we appreciate about a product or a program, that's what gets the hits and that's what people comment on. They don't
Yes.
care about a picture of a mug. Like, okay, big deal. So that's one thing I've learned through this process. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, positiveactivity.net and all the links to our social is on there. Our emails are on there and you can connect with us. And we do workshops and we speak, we do one-on-one mentoring. It's really fun. We love it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening in to The Seed. If you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, go to Dandelion-Inc.com and click Let's Connect. And please be sure to subscribe to The Seeds podcast to hear more inspiring stories from other badass women that are all around us. Remember, behind every woman is a tribe of other successful women who have their back. To you all, thank you.